Welcome back to CIA Declassified. We've covered intelligence operations conducted on the ground, in the sea, in the air, and even in the human mind. Today we go to space, but not for aliens, for definitive, actionable intelligence. By the late 1950s, American intelligence faced a blinding crisis. The Soviet Union had launched Sputnik and was widely believed to be deploying a massive fleet of intercontinental ballistic missiles. This so-called missile gap dominated Cold War paranoia. The U-2 spy plane provided invaluable photos, but the 1960 downing of Gary Powers proved that high-altitude aerial reconnaissance was no longer sustainable. The solution was audacious, desperate, and entirely unprecedented. Put a camera into orbit, take pictures, and bring the film back. This was the mandate for Project Corona, initially known publicly as the Discoverer Program. Project Corona was born from a joint agreement between the CIA and the U.S. Air Force, becoming the predecessor to the highly secretive National Reconnaissance Office. It officially began in 1959. The mission presented a series of technical hurdles that were, frankly, sci-fi. 1. Launch. Put a massive, heavy satellite carrying hundreds of pounds of film into precise polar orbit. 2. Photography. Keep the satellite stable enough to take clear, high-resolution photographs while hurling through space at over 17,000 miles per hour. And 3. Retrieval. The biggest challenge. How do you get the film back to Earth? The solution to number 3 was the invention of the satellite recovery system, which involved a re-entry vehicle or bucket. This bucket contained the exposed film, separated from the main satellite in orbit, and deployed a parachute for descent. The critical step, mid-air retrieval. Aircraft from the 6594TH test wing flying out of Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii, was tasked with intercepting the descending parachute in midair using specialized hooks attached to their wings. This dangerous high-stakes maneuver was the only way to get the classified intelligence before it sank into the Pacific Ocean. The early days of Corona were defined by spectacular failure. Between 1959 and 1960, the first 12 missions launched under the cover name Discoverer failed consecutively. Rockets exploded, satellites tumbled out of control, and retrieval capsules were lost. The program became a punchline among the few who knew of its existence, dubbed the, quote, 13 failures. The original first successful mission was initially misclassified as the 14th launch, though later corrected. The pressure was immense. The program was chewing through the CIA's budget, and political leaders urgently needed reliable intelligence on Soviet capabilities. Then came Mission 9009, launched in August 1960, publicly Discoverer 14. This time everything worked. After 16 orbits, the capsule separated and began its descent. A U.S. Air Force C-119 aircraft known as the Flying Boxcar successfully snagged the parachute with the film capsule over the Pacific. The result was the first ever photograph taken from Earth orbit and successfully recovered. This single mission photographed more of the Soviet Union than all previous U-2 missions combined. The quality was staggering, achieving a ground resolution of approximately 7.5 meters. That's 25 feet. The intelligence payoff from Corona was immediate and world-changing. The Corona photos confirmed what a few intelligence analysts had suspected. The missile gap was a myth. Instead of the hundreds of ICBMs the USSR claimed and the U.S. government feared, Corona found only a handful. This discovery fundamentally altered U.S. defense strategy and stabilized the dangerous political climate. Key achievements: Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962. While U-2 flights confirmed the presence of missiles, Corona imagery provided crucial high-resolution maps of the deployment sites, giving President Kennedy invaluable leverage during the crisis. Total coverage: between 1960 and 1972, Corona flew 145 missions, 102 of which were successful. It took over 800,000 photographs, mapping nearly every corner of the globe, including previously inaccessible areas of China and the Soviet Union. By the later missions, ground resolution improved to as little as 1.8 meters, 6 feet. Military installations: Corona provided the first true inventory of Soviet strategic forces, identifying thousands of airfields, military bases, submarine pens, and industrial facilities. The program created the foundation for modern satellite reconnaissance and ushered in an era of, quote, national technical means of verification, end quote. allowing the superpowers to verify arms control treaties without intrusive inspections. Seeing was believing, and Corona was the I. The documents surrounding Corona, like our reference file CIA-RDP88T00439R00010001-1, are heavily redacted, not to hide the fact that we had satellites, which became public, but to protect the operational methods in the program's internal structures. The black budget. Redactions consistently obscure the exact monetary investment in the specific allocation of funds. Corona was the first and largest program of the nascent National Reconnaissance Office, which was itself created in secrecy. Protecting these budgetary details kept foreign intelligence from gauging the U.S. technological capacity. Processing secrets. Blocks of censored text detail the rapid chemical processing and photo interpretation techniques developed by the CIA's National Photographic Interpretation Center. These methods of quickly turning raw film into actionable intelligence were considered a massive tactical advantage. Associated projects. The success of Corona led to more advanced projects like Argon, which focused on better map making, and Gambit, which delivered even higher resolution. Redactions protected the existence and capabilities of these follow-on programs. Project Corona officially ended in 1972, replaced by newer, more capable digital satellite systems. The program remained one of the most guarded secrets of the Cold War for over 2 decades. In 1995, under President Bill Clinton, the entire Corona collection, along with photos from its successors, Argon and Lanyard, was officially declassified. This massive release of historical imagery had an impact far beyond intelligence history. Environmental science. Scientists gained access to decades of historical imagery, allowing them to track the retreat of glaciers, deforestation, and the environmental impact of Cold War industrialization. Archaeology and history. Historians and archaeologists use the imagery to locate ancient sites and track historical land use changes in previously inaccessible regions. The legacy of Corona is that it was not merely a spy program, it was a technological triumph that established the precedent that space, while hostile, was the ultimate high ground for intelligence gathering. Thank you for joining us as we explored Project Corona, the massive leap from aerial espionage to orbital reconnaissance. This program didn't just take pictures, it stabilized global security by providing verifiable facts over Soviet propaganda. Please like this episode and share it with someone who appreciates the sheer ingenuity of Cold War technology. In our next episode, we circle back to a different kind of aerial mystery to prove the investigation into unidentified aerial phenomenons never truly ended. We will analyze the confirmed existence of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP, and the subsequent UAP Task Force, UAPTF. We will examine the modern declassified and official documentation that confirms the Pentagon was secretly funding a multi-million-dollar program to investigate the same phenomena that Project Blue Book officially dismissed in 1969. We will look at the origins of AATIP in 2007, the infamous Tic Tac videos confirmed by the Navy, and how the current political and intelligence maneuverings around UAPs is a direct continuation of the secrecy established during the Blue Book era. The U.S. government is investigating UFOs again, and this time they've confirmed it. Tune in for our next episode for CIA Declassified, the AATIP files, Blue Book's modern successor. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question the shadows, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.